little bit stronger wind. Cloverdale 947, Danville 1005, Mooresville 1020, Plainfield 1020, Speedway 1027, and Brownsburg at about the same amount of time. So pushing close to 1030 by the time you get into east central portions of Hendricks County. But again, Danville, you're looking at just after 10 o'clock. So showers and pretty good storm going to roll through.
Also wanted to point out, we're just reading some discussions from the Storm Prediction Center. It looks like sometime within the next hour they're going to readjust the tornado watch situation. Now, whether it means they're going to issue another tornado watch to replace some of the ones that are coming up, because actually the northern part of the state is going to expire here in the next 15 minutes. So I have a feeling at least part of the northern part of the state will be reissued, and we'll have to see if they leave our tornado watch that affects us in the southern half of the state alone, or whether they're going to reform that into one single tornado watch box or a severe thunderstorm watch box.
Yeah, they could drop the criteria down a little bit and drop it down to severe thunderstorm watch, but they may keep the one up for the southern part of the area, although these storms are almost starting to grow to the north enough to where they're out of that box. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of slant they put.
But I think you're seeing, unlike what we're seeing in the northern parts of the viewing area, because a lot of the northern part of the state's been seeing thunderstorm after thunderstorm throughout the day. So maybe the environment not quite as friendly to more thunderstorm development.
We saw
down
that line
here
in Illinois.
Right,
that just fell apart. Right,
fell apart. But down here in the south, we're seeing areas that maybe haven't seen as much thunderstorm activity. So maybe there's still a little bit more energy to contend with. But when you look at the scenario, there's still a lot of ingredients in place. So you could understand maybe the hesitation on the Storm Prediction Center to drop tornado watches, but just from our experience throughout the past several days, a lot of storms have just had a hard time staying mature once they reach Indiana for some reason. Yeah, which is good news.
Right. You know, the last couple of days we've really kind of had a cap on the atmosphere around here, but today it looked like it was going to be a different story with that cold front moving through, because it was a long-range triggering mechanism, and it just really looked like things were going to be severe along that line. But like you mentioned, it's now sustaining itself farther down to the south, but up to the north it's not.
And like you said, the front may be the one last gasp that it has in terms of the chance of the severe weather, and that's expected to come through. We were looking at it on Forecast 8 Futurecast earlier, sometime after midnight. That front's expected to come through. After that, I think we'll finally say goodbye to the severe weather threat, at least for one day, maybe a day, until tomorrow night or Tuesday, when it looks like we could do this song and dance all over again.
Well, and here's that secondary line, or that secondary storm that was coming through, and obviously it's become a little bit more compact as it's rolling in here, but not quite as elongated as this first line. But this is the one that's going to come back through the Terre Haute area that could potentially put down some more hail or some strong winds and another round of downpours as well.
Right, and I wonder, curious what if we want to do the some of the tracks of what some of the strengths are. Those are some of the ones, maybe 3/4 inch hail, not some of the ones maybe as intense. So again, maybe as you mentioned, the storm collapsing a little bit. At least with this one, looked like it was collapsing too before it started to elongate a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, and this is one of the cells. Wow, this one. They've got this thing tracking at almost 75 miles an hour in this particular area, and this is one of the strongest ones as far as having larger hail, as much as 3/4 of an inch, but also, you know, maybe picking up a little indication of a mature thunderstorm in there. We'll have to watch that particular area right there that's kind of blowing up behind this initial line right in this area here. Kind of an interesting perspective there. There are some cells that have a little bit potential for even larger hail as we slide down this. This is data from the National Weather Service, and this one has it going well down to the southeast. So
I think it's one of those where the cell may be rotating a little bit at the time that the Doppler did a sweep of it. It showed it going southeast. But again, the entire line is moving to the east, and we don't want to ignore people on the northern edge of this line. I mean, it is pretty well organized, and there may be some indications that some of these may be strengthening a little bit, so certainly something to pay attention to, but we'll have to see how the northern edge of this really holds together, doesn't hold together. Is it producing hail, not producing hail? At this point, it looks like the hail is relatively small in size if it is on the north side, but certainly something to monitor here.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of take you into that northern part of it now, moving into Boone County, Jamestown area. Getting some pretty good heavy rain right now. No indications of any severe storms. The warnings that we have in place right now, there are just 3 warnings that are in place right now for Putnam, Vigo, and Clay counties.
Madison, Marion, Morgan, Rush, Shelby, and Tipton. Hail to 2 inches and wind gusts to 69 miles per hour are possible. Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means conditions are favorable for dangerous weather. Listen for the latest statements and possible warnings from the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hendricks County in central Indiana until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 9:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. This storm was located near Coatesville, or about 24 miles southeast of Crawfordsville, and moving east at 55 miles an hour. The severe thunderstorm will be near Danville around 9:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Pittsboro around 10 p.m., and Brownsburg around 10:05 p.m. Repeating, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hendricks County in central Indiana until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Putnam County in west central Indiana until 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now a special weather statement for the following counties: Tipton, Madison, Delaware, Randolph, Hamilton, Montgomery, Boone, Vermilion, Henry, Park, Hancock, Marion, Hendricks, Putnam, Rush, Shelby, Johnson, Morgan, Vigo, Clay, Olin, Decatur, Bartholomew, Brown, Monroe, Sullivan, Jennings, Greene, Jackson, Lawrence, Knox, Martin, and Davies. Tornado watch number 267 remains in effect. Tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now weather updates for the following counties: Boone, Hamilton, Hendricks, Marion, Morgan, and Johnson. At 9:45 p.m., an area of strong thunderstorms was located from 10 miles southwest of Lebanon due near Cloverdale. This line extended back into eastern Illinois. The storms were moving east at 45 miles an hour and will reach the Indianapolis area around 10:30 p.m. Very heavy rain, hail, and wind gusts to around 50 miles an hour are possible with these storms.
This is National Weather Service Radio KC-74 in Indianapolis.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hendricks County in central Indiana until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 9:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. This storm was located near Coatesville, or about 24 miles southeast of Crawfordsville, and moving east at 55 miles an hour. The severe thunderstorm will be near Danville around 9:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Pittsboro around 10 p.m., and Brownsburg around 10:05 p.m. Repeating, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hendricks County in central Indiana until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Putnam County in west central Indiana until 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now a special weather statement for the following counties: Tipton, Madison, Delaware, Randolph, Hamilton, Montgomery, Boone, Vermilion, Henry, Park, Hancock, Marion, Hendricks, Putnam, Rush, Shelby, Johnson, Morgan, Vigo, Clay, Olin, Decatur, Bartholomew, Brown, Monroe, Sullivan, Jennings, Greene, Jackson, Lawrence, Knox, Martin, and Davies. Tornado watch number 267 remains in effect. Tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now weather updates for the following counties: Boone, Hamilton, Hendricks, Marion, Morgan, and Johnson. At 9:45 p.m., an area of strong thunderstorms was located from 10 miles southwest of Lebanon due near Cloverdale. This line extended back into eastern Illinois. The storms were moving east at 45 miles an hour and will reach the Indianapolis area around 10:30 p.m. Very heavy rain, hail, and wind gusts to around 50 miles an hour are possible with these storms.
This is National Weather Service Radio KC-74 in Indianapolis.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe...
We're back live on your local The siren's going off. We just got a call, and it's because in Hendricks County there was a tornado watch in effect, and the severe thunderstorm warning occurred. Now it's a severe thunderstorm watch. Let's go through it all for you. Let's show you tracker. Here are the warnings that are in place first for Hendricks and then also Putnam County, and here is why. You can see this line of thunderstorms rolling across the area. The rules basically in most counties around central Indiana are that if you are under a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, they will sound the tornado sirens. The reason for that is that during a severe thunderstorm warning, you can have tornadoes produced. In this case, right at 10 o'clock, the tornado watch was being replaced by a severe thunderstorm watch. So now the situation had changed to where we don't even have the tornado watch anymore, but we still have the severe thunderstorm watch for the area, and we still have these severe thunderstorm warnings.
And again, all this is kind of semantics. You still want to take the necessary precautions because they're bad storms, but still, again, the exact rules that that were in place changed midstream while they're probably sounding the sirens off.
Exactly,
So, not to blame the emergency managers by any stretch of imagination.
Yes.
But again, just for your benefit at home, since it has changed to severe thunderstorm watch, and we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in place. Again, I think the biggest threat we're looking at, just gusty winds. We've seen 3/4 inch to 1 inch hail reported, especially on the southern part of the line that you're looking at here with our live Doppler radar on Forecast 8 storm tracker. And again, you see a lot of this activity again pushing on off to the east. Liston, North Salem, extending down to Danville, even Clayton and Plainfield. And I know we got reports that the sirens are going off in Plainfield, so I'm sure
Plainfield
other parts
that was calling in.
yeah, Plainfield that was having the sirens
and
go
keep
off.
in mind, like you mentioned, that it is still a good idea to stay away from the exterior windows and stay away from the exterior walls for that matter, because there is going to be a gust of wind that comes in with these cells, and that gust of wind could be in excess of 60 miles an hour, and there may be some large hail as well. And you can see this is where we have the newest warning in Hendricks County, but there's also another warning for Putnam County still in effect.
About another 15 minutes, I believe, for Putnam County. Yes, till 10:15. And again, those are the only two counties that have warnings in place at this time. And you can see some of that now starting to extend eastward into western parts of Marion County. Certainly not the strongest part of the thunderstorm, but probably in the next 15 minutes here in Marion County, you'll see some of the strong gusty winds, at least with the leading edge of this line starting to push on through at this point, and probably some of the heavy rains and the frequent lightning as well.
And we did get some reports, some further reports of the hail that was in Vigo County. We talked about that just a little while ago. We had that 1 to 3/4 inch hail that was being reported there. So still some hail with these storms as they've rolled in. We're going to slide over to our WeatherNet station, and this one in Danville. And you can see this is in central portions of Hendricks County. 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts there so far, but that's really kind of they've seen this wave come through, so we're going to drop a little bit farther down to the south. Let's send you back to tracker, and we'll go out to a little bit wider perspective here. And you can see that that cell is also, that line is moving through portions of Morgan County as well. So we'll call up another WeatherNet station over here and try to get some little different perspective for you here.
Maybe Mooresville?
Yeah, that's true.
Or Avon as well, or Danville?
Well, I was thinking about Avon, and I'm wondering if they're just on the leading edge of that. I was trying to get a little bit farther south of where it was bowing out a little bit. We've got...
Maybe any wind gusts.
Yeah, in Avon, we've got 29-mile-per-hour wind gusts and only 7/100ths of an inch of rain so far, but I would anticipate that is going to pick up quite a bit. There are going to be some torrential downpours, and this is one of those things, if you fairly soon, I would hold off on that as much as possible, because visibility is going to be very low when you're driving out there in this kind of rainfall.
And again, you don't necessarily want to focus on the actual rainfall total, like you said. It's just the blinding rain and low visibility will be for a very short period of time, at least initially. But we are seeing some isolated thunderstorm cells kind of merging in with that second area out to the west. So it's going to be at least some messy weather. And again, if you're just joining us, a severe thunderstorm watch has replaced both the tornado watches that were in effect. There are no tornado watch areas in effect across any part of Indiana at this time. The severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Go ahead and punch up the WeatherNet. This is from Mooresville, and just a 29-mile-per-hour wind gust at this point as well. It is that line just starting to slide back in. Their rainfall totals so far non-existent almost at this point, but they'll be getting a little bit more. And this area of Mooresville is a little bit farther ahead of this line, so yeah, I would have thunk, if you would, that around the Plainfield area would have been some of the strongest winds with this line.
Maybe were you back at the site in Cloverdale, that WeatherNet site, to see what they've been?
Yeah, I could go back there.
For a while there, and probably still get some rain, at least by indications of the live Doppler radar, probably some of the heavier rains. And the southern edge of that, as it scoots on off to the east, you may experience some of these areas getting some of the heavy rains. We've had reports now. Sorry, I was listening to some amateur radio reports of 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts by the ham radio operators out in Danville. Actually, you were talking about that strong part of the line pushing through.
Right.
So,
yeah, Danville, Plainfield. Okay, 45 to 50 mile an hour.
50 mile per hour peak gusts.
Okay.
And again, that may not show up necessarily on the WeatherNet side. It all depends on the location.
Oh, yeah.
Very concentrated.
Well, and it also depends on where the weather station is located, you know, in what direction the wind is coming from. You know, if a building could block it from that particular direction, that kind of gust.
Tell you what, we're going to put back on the imagery here for the storm tracker here for just a second. Again, give you an idea of what's happening in terms of the movement of this system here. Bear with us a second here. Get our imagery back on. There you see the movement of the system that that's being indicated, at least at this time, in some pretty impressive winds. And again, especially on the southern part, we have at least some indication of the possibility of some larger hail down in this area. And again, all this particular part of the southern branch of the storm pushing to the east, southeast at a pretty good clip, and some indication that we might have some at least intensification there on the southern part of the line of the thunderstorm there as well.
Okay, so Hendricks County, strong thunderstorm moving through there. Our WeatherNet station, 31 mile an hour wind gust in the Brownsburg area. We did have that kind of winds with a storm that moved through there earlier, so it seems like not much new wind gust blowing through there, but it's just about to move into the Brownsburg area.
Morgan County now, severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45.
Okay, so
and that's that southern edge. That's
yeah,
be
this is that cell that you were indicating here just a minute ago. That hail that with the potential for 2-inch hail, a potential for 2-inch hail. So it's a pretty strong storm there, and we were talking about the southern end of this being the more of the focus. Although obviously along this line we're seeing some pretty good rains and also some pretty good winds. Here is that line that is stretching through. It seems to be moving to the east at around 30 miles an hour, and here's some timing on it. Speedway 10:27, Beech Grove 10:44, and then Lawrence at around 10:53 now. That just updating here just a minute ago.
That's again, when I was talking a second ago, my mic was turned off. So again, to recap some of what we were talking about there, again on the southern edge of the system, as Steve just mentioned, again, that's where we're seeing the strongest cell of the thunderstorms. The report of the wind gust that we had earlier, and I think you were repeating it earlier, was 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gust in Danville and Plainfield, which coincidentally is the part of the storm that is heading towards Marion County in Indianapolis. So folks here in Marion County need to brace for that possibility.
Right. And it is now moving through into Marion County. This does almost seem to be accelerating a little bit as it's sliding in. So it is blowing through Brownsburg and Avon and Plainfield and moving into anywhere from Traders Point to Zionsville and back down through southwestern portions of Marion County. The Speedway area starting to get some of that action as well. Okay,
and some of the gust up at Eagle Creek up to 34 miles per hour now, 1/1600ths of an inch of rain.
Okay, so we did get
Brownsburg.
And this is, that's Eagle Elementary up in Brownsburg, a 34 mile an hour wind gust, when earlier in the day it was 31. So you can see the storms continuing to push through Zionsville, then into Marion County. We just kind of trail down this line, and then as we go to the south, you can see a red core showing up right here, and this is where that cell we were just watching just a moment ago, where it may be some large hail. And we are getting some red core there that would indicate some very heavy rain, but also maybe indicating some large hail with this system. And if we kind of just track out that particular part of the storm, I'll just grab that part of it, and it did seem like it was racing a little bit faster to the east, so we'll put it more at least 35 miles an hour, and we're talking about the county, so Bethany and Bargersville, and obviously this is pushed off way off to the east, not running to many cities there or towns there as it slices through central Morgan County. A lot of agricultural land out there along the White River as it stretches down into Owen County to around the Gosport area and things like that. So that's good news, because that does seem to be one of the stronger parts of the storm right now, not hitting a large number of folks out there. So, but if you're viewing in the west side of Marion County, the storm's now rolling through. At this point, there is no severe thunderstorm warning for Marion County, although there is one for Hendricks County that goes until 10:30. This does seem to be intense, or at least forward momentum, let me put it that way, as it slides into Marion County. So it is accelerating, and as it slides in, there may be a warning issued for Marion County. Let's take you out in a little bit wider view. One of the things we were watching earlier too was a secondary cell that was moving into around Terre Haute, and you can see that sliding in. Not as severe as this initial line that came through, so we're watching that for the potential of reaching that kind of severity. But again, right now, western part of Indianapolis down through Morgan County especially, it seems like the northwestern portion of Morgan County, you may be seeing some very large hail, so keep that in mind. Cell that indicated there may be a potential for as much as 2-inch hail, so we're going to keep a close eye on that for you. As I'm kind of tracking, we have a what we call storm attributes table, which indicates the severity of several of the cells within this thunderstorm. We kind of go through this every once in a while just to track and see which storms are producing, or at least have the highest potential for large hail, and some of those are in that area where they're up to 3/4 of an inch would push it into severe weather status, but more like the isolated case where there's one that's more like the 2-inch hail potential that we saw just a little bit ago. There's one cell there that seems to have that 3/4 inch potential, and some of these seem to just be racing off to the east. This particular cell with the potential for that large hail sliding almost a little bit more to the northeast, and this one indicating 10:30 at Noblesville, Anderson, Alexandria. So if that were true and that were to hold together, we may see a warning come out for Hamilton County, although we have not seen one come out for Marion County to this point, as this line is starting to come in through here. We've got Morgan, Hendricks, and Putnam counties under severe thunderstorm warnings. The one for Putnam County, where the line has pretty much moved through, you're looking for that warning expiring at around 10 p.m. What I'm going to try to do now, call up one of our WeatherNet sites. This one is out on the west side of town, so we can see how this is riding in to the western part, and we do have a new warning, and that warning includes Marion County. As I mentioned, it was just rolling in. Marion County, a severe thunderstorm warning until 11 p.m. 11 p.m. for Marion County. You can see the cell is in the western part of that county. Just issued one for Marion County until 11 o'clock. And there you see it there.
And I realized halfway through I was talking to them.
And there it is from some portions of southeastern Boone County all the way through southern Hamilton County, and then again including Marion County. That severe thunderstorm warning just issued for Marion County. That goes until 11 p.m. Let's go to our WeatherNet site. This one at McClellan, which is on the west side, and a 31-mile-per-hour wind gust there, and winds right now, sustained winds at 17 miles an hour, but that wind gust of 31, and the rainfall not really adding up to this point at least.
Oh, that's right, and we're going to see temperatures probably cool off easily into the 60s here with this thunderstorm activity developing, and it looks like the strongest part of it now is the part that's in Morgan County, maybe southern Hendricks County, where we had those reports of 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gust, at least in some spots. as that slides on off to the east, don't be surprised to see those wind gusts, and I think that'll be a more important factor. Obviously, if you're out driving, it's going to be some blinding rain out there and some of the gusty winds, but watch out for the frequent lightning as well.
Man, we'll put it on the next rad data here real quick, and I'll show you a loop of this thing coming through here, and we'll show you the last hour of data, and you can see it starting to slam into Marion County, and then again intensifying a little bit on that southern end back into Morgan County, back all the way to around Cloverdale. Been picking up some at least reflectivity, some indication by the radar that there may be some large hail there. Haven't had any confirmation of that, but keep that in mind around Cloverdale. Western portions of Morgan County. Eventually that will slide into Mooresville and areas like that. May stay a little bit north of you in Martinsville. You want to be aware that it is coming your way. And it really does seem like this has been accelerating just within the last few frames there. You can see it really starting to pile into portions of Marion County. So the latest we have now is a severe thunderstorm warning for Marion County that goes until 11 p.m. We have 10:30 for the Hendricks County warning. Although the storm is pushing out of Hendricks County now into Marion County, you can see it almost completely into the central part of Marion County now, and we may be seeing a little bit. A lot of times when this happens, our radar, we lose a little bit of the coverage there, or the extent that it will go out because of the.
But certainly some of the indications are that we've seen some fluctuations in strength, certainly, especially on the southern end. We've seen some intensification, but now maybe some indications weakening a little bit as well. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think the bottom line will be the same here for the next 40 to 45 minutes, especially here in Marion County, where we could be seeing some of the stronger winds. Again, 40, 50 mile per hour gusts were reported in Danville, so no reason to think that that wouldn't happen, at least here in Marion County with the addition of the hail. We haven't heard much of the hail reports, but maybe 3/4 inch hail, a little bit smaller possible.
Well, you were talking about the threat of it, and we had tornado watches out earlier. This is coverage area of our severe thunderstorm watch. We now have a severe thunderstorm watch for pretty much the entire area that runs until 4 a.m. And then you see the 3 warnings that are in place right now for Hendricks, Marion, and then also Morgan counties, and those go until 10:30 or 11 o'clock for the one for Marion County.
And all indications are that cell that we were looking at earlier out to the west is falling apart. Not issuing any warnings for it, so other than maybe you know, more thunderstorm activity with some lightning and maybe some small hail, maybe a little bit of good news of that part. It's actually traveling through an area that's been already experiencing the weather, so it may have kind of rained itself out a little bit, stabilized the atmosphere a little bit as well.
Okay, tell you what. Site there. This is one from McClellan Elementary. You see that 37 mile per hour wind gust there. Not much rain, but there has been some rain in that western part of the city, and you can see on Forecast 8 Storm Tracker that rain that is coming down in that area.
And it looks like all of Marion County being encompassed by this, not really one part more so than the other, and even southern Hamilton County now. Even though you're not officially under the warning, you're starting to see maybe some intensification around the extreme northern edge, so that's been sliding in from Zionsville. Moving in to around the Carmel area, Fishers, Noblesville, all of the basically the southern half of Hamilton County. We'll probably see some, and even in Hendricks County as well.
And it literally looks like this top part of this is a little bit as it's sliding in, so there may be some indication there of hail. And we have heavy.
In fact, see at our side here at Wish TV, we're already up to 21/100ths of an inch of rain, and we've been sitting on basically 9/100ths of an inch for a short period of time. We'll go ahead
and I'm hearing thunder. I don't know if you could hear that through the microphones, but we are getting that downtown now. Thunder and lightning, heavy rainfall.
Okay.
And that is kind of attenuating, we call it, our radar signal, really kind of shrinking what we can see.
Hey, and wind gust here now, the wind gust kicking up to 48 miles per hour here. If you want to push that up on our weathernet site here. And rain again, 21/100ths here as I speak, up to 2700. Yeah. So we're tacking on the rain, we're tacking on the winds as well.
And there's our Doppler radar. This is on the 25-mile scan, and you can see it extends all the way back into the Mooresville area, back getting close to Martinsville now. It does seem to, like we were talking earlier, that it might just skirt a little bit north of you, and that's still a possibility. And this is where there has been some indication that there may be some large hail with this cell as it's rolling through. But right now, portions of Marion County, Morgan County, and Hendricks County all under severe thunderstorm warnings.
And again, you mentioned it might even be a little more impressive or expansive with our live Doppler radar being here downtown with all that heavy rain shield. It makes it hard for the radar beam to penetrate all the thunderstorm cells. So some of the outlying areas may be experiencing stronger thunderstorms. It's just kind of hard for it to pick it up with the live Doppler radar at this point.
That's right. That's right. But as this rolls through, look for lots of lightning. Those lightning strikes, you can see them there on our Doppler radar. We're occasionally having lightning strikes popping up. Those are going to be potentially dangerous. Make sure you stay away from the shower. We talk about electrical appliances, but that's one thing you want to do as well. You do not want to be in and around that that plumbing, because the electrical force can run through that plumbing as well.
That's right, and we're still getting consistent reports of pea-size hail, which may be below severe limits at this time, but certainly enough to do a little damage, put dents in cars or whatever. So if you have cars that aren't in garages or carports, that you have a chance to put that areas east of Indianapolis, may not be a bad idea. In Indianapolis, again, a little bit late to be doing that at this.
And here we go. We're going to zoom into our storm tracker, and you can just watch this line as it's pouring through here. There is this data is a little bit behind our live data, but again, because it's pouring so heavy downtown, some of the wide expanse. So keep in mind, through central portions of Morgan County, also the northern part of that county, you are looking at some strong storms that are blowing through to the east. Back up north in Hamilton County, around Carmel, around Noblesville, you're going to see the northern part of this storm slide on through, and this could put down some large hail. It's going to put in some downpours and lots of lightning and thunderstorm and thunder with it.
Well, in addition to affecting our radar, it's also satellite's ability to receive data, so it may even be the radar data may be a little bit farther behind. So I think you know, our live Doppler radar, this is about the best image that we can give you at this point. But again, with the there are areas of rain, obviously heavier than this, what's seeing on the radar way, but certainly here in the downtown area, southern Hamilton County, Morgan County, where you have the thunderstorm warning in effect again until 10:45 there for Morgan.